Hello, everybody, and welcome to this video where today we are going to show you one of the new books. Well, it's a new old book for this month, the month of April, and it is this: Type Drunk, Poetry on Writing, Volume 4, by me. I'm going to read some selections out of here. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm going to read some selections out of here for you. Because I was looking through it today, and I was like, good God, this is some pretty profound shit. This will be available on mattwallart.com for the month of April. There are only 2 of these left. Once they are gone, they are gone. Okay? They are limited edition. These were limited to 50, signed and numbered. So here we go. This first poem is called Two Poets. Just watched about 10 minutes too many of a live stream where 2 poets were agonizing, and I mean agonizing, over which word meant more, whole or entire. They were really tied up in knots over this. They were talking about being in love with the world. One guy wanted to use, I'm in love with the whole world. The other guy said, I'm in love with the entire world. They couldn't agree on what word was more encompassing. This is why poetry is mocked, laughed at, why new poets are rare, why good poets even more so. Creating a poem comes with ease, not agony. It flows like water. It becomes. It just is. All this scrutiny, all this trouble, I don't understand it. They've been working on this poem for nights and nights on end. This is just one line, the opening line. One of the guys, every time he spoke, he wagged his finger at the camera, like he was some sort of god in some half-assed literary religion of assholes. Who do these people think they are? I don't understand poets, yet I am one. I have felt like an outcast in every part of my life, and now here on this journey, I am still an outcast. Let them have their agony, their one line of pain, and I'll keep my honest pages of posy. Legit. Stay off of Instagram, people. It's a dangerous, dangerous place. There's a big poem in here about Bukowski. I'm not going to read that one, but we will read this one. It's called Why. In order to be a poet, to be a human, you have to do something very simple all the time, every day. You have to ask, why? You ask this when there is injustice, when a bird lands in a tree, when the prices go up on milk, when the doctor treats you like shit, when your neighbor is watering his lawn for the 3rd time today, when your girl gives you that look. You need to ask yourself this about everything. Then, when you react, however you react, you need to ask again. Why do you feel that way? Why does your heart race? Why are you out of breath? Why does it feel like your heart is swelling? Why are you crying? Why do you want to kill yourself? Once you get the answers, you ask why again, and again, and again, until there's nothing left to be said. Well, this thing probably just got a strike, or a whatever you call it. This poem is called Write, with a W. Write what you know, write where you live, write what you see, write what you hear, write what you touch, write what you smell, write what you feel, write what you taste, write who you fuck, write who you love, write how you talk, write in your voice, write in your breath, write in your blood, write you and only you. You are the conduit, you are the lightning rod. No one can see what you see through your eyes unless you show them. No one can hear what you hear unless you tell them. No one can feel what you feel unless you touch them. Okay, this poem is called All Right, June, and I think this is how we need to look at stuff and how you poets need to look at stuff. Okay? All right, June, you fucker. You got a lot to live up to. Last month, May, in case you forgot, I wrote 102 poems. All good. Most of them the best I ever written. That means you better fucking perform. I wrote 43 in April. That doesn't mean you just need to beat April. It means that May was very good, and I want you to be better. I need you to be better, so no fucking around. You have to focus on being better than May. I'm not one for pep talks, but I think you can do it. I want you to put the fear of God in July. I want July shivering in the middle of summer. The only way to do that is for you to outperform May. I realize I'm talking to invisible, intangible, pretend constructs, but that doesn't matter. You got 30 days, punk. There you go. Trusting your pen. The poet said, trust your pen, like trust your gut. He was saying that when he writes words down, he wants to make sure that the first word he chooses is the one to go with, trusting where your pen takes you, trusting your gut. I love this. I thought to myself, this man here is a kindred spirit. Then he showed the camera his notebook and showed all the crossed out words in it. He told us how there were words he was writing that weren't the right words. But he wrote them anyway, knowing to go back and change them. What happened to my kindred spirit? What happened to trusting your pen, trusting your gut? Who the fuck was this guy? It wasn't as if many minutes went by between these events. They were right after another. I lost respect for him and his work, turned off the stream, sat in my room in the dark, still feeling creatively alone. The tightrope walker. He puts the words down as placeholders. Those are from his gut. He trusts his subconscious to come up with better words, the right words. I can't do this. I feel like my first words are true from my gut, from my soul. If I second guess, those words end up being not for me, but for others. I feel like I'm constantly walking a tightrope of being true to myself or being accepted. It makes me feel like I've already fallen from that enormous height into a cesspool of mud and shit. It makes me feel dirty. Who is this for? The answer is always the same. This is for me first, you second, and finally them. All of them last. This is a poem called Jeff Said. And this isn't Jeff Taylor, by the way. Different Jeff. Jeff said, poetry doesn't sell, which means that the bottom feeder money people haven't come in to fuck it up as they have with the rest of the world. Astonishingly, poets themselves have fucked it up. I think largely to justify their positions in academia, which is just about the only way to make a living as a poet. And that's it. Because I was like, goddamn, there it is. And then the people who I thanked in this book, I'll just say, I'll read them. Michael McGrath, Deborah Kurtz, Cedar Marie, Harry, Scott Bryant, another one we've lost. Christine Troche, Allison Hadley, Bunny Wild, Jeff White, Audrey Lewis, Mike Chaos, Nathan Colton, Hannah Fletcher, Mindy Cords, Thomas Kropp, Tim Johnston, Sarah Marie, and Garrett Carroll. Wow. Some of those names I have not said out loud in some time. Anyway, that's not all. There's another big thing in there. So Type Drunk, Poetry on Writing Volume 4, available up on my website now. mattwallart.com. There's only 2 copies of this left, and there's also 3 copies of shit poems up there, which maybe I'll read some poems out of there tomorrow or something. We'll figure it out. Okay, guys, type hard. Poetry's easy. Don't let motherfuckers trick you. Join the crew down below, and I will talk to you all later.